Evening, everyone. Normally, our big boy Rob up there in the corner is your intro and host and moderator, but tonight we're doing something that we've been done for a few other schools. We're going to break down the 2025 University of Texas Longhorns. Well, that's hard to get out. But all jokes aside there, one of the best rivalries in college football. Glad to have both of y'all on here to go through this. I think it's kind of fitting, Rob, you being a big, and Doug, but Rob, you were a big Texas fan. You did mine for the A&M one. It's only fitting that it gets turned back around with somebody from A&M doing the Texas one, I think. So I think that adds a little more to it. But how's your evening going, Robert?
It's going real good, man. I'm staying warm, trying to stay from the outdoors, and I'm doing all right.
Good. Glad to hear it. I feel you on the staying warm. Well, that's why I quit shaving right now. I got to keep some warmth on this face. I ain't got much hair up here, so I got to keep it here. Doug down there in the balmy, probably 70 degrees down there or something in Houston, probably sweating, people putting on 2 layers, deodorant, keeping it rolling.
It's like California weather, little real chilly in the morning, chilly in the shade, a little warm in the sunshine, But yeah, we're like, it's going to be a little bit colder tomorrow, though, like maybe it might hit 29 or something like that. And
woo, heaven forbid,
creep back up to 54,
Yeah, I think we're supposed to start off at -7 tomorrow morning.
That's insane, man.
And that's actually the warmest of the next 2 days. Saturday's supposed to be worse. So
I don't know how y'all do it.
I stay inside in lots of layers.
Well, the snow is pretty though, man. But okay.
Yeah, the snow's pretty. So just one of those things we got to deal with when you live up here in these northern states. But we'll survive and get through. I'd much rather have the snow than all the ice and stuff that other people got.
Right.
So, without further ado, we'll jump into it. I kind of threw some of these questions together because I left the questions I had been working on in my office before I could type them in. So I just kind of tried to remember some of them and then added a few more things in. Then we can add some more in as we go if they pop up. But first off, we'll jump out and we'll let Rob hit this one first. I'll alternate back and forth with who goes first. Sarkisian's been there 5 years. Based on where the program was before that, how do you feel the program is faring under Sarkisian's leadership?
I feel like the program is going in the right direction. I mean, Steve Sarkisian has proven to be one of those head coaches that understands what the college game needs. He understands what kind of coaching staff that he wants to have in order to be successful. And he's been willing to make the difficult decisions when it comes down to letting coaches go who he felt like may not be having Texas turn in the right direction. And we've seen that this season when they let PK go and a couple of other defensive guys go. I think that Steve Sarkisian is the right man for the job. I think he understands what it takes to be successful in the SEC, and he's done a fabulous job taking Texas from where they were before him to 5-7 to the last year being 9-3, opportunity to make it to the college football playoffs for a 3rd year in a row. That didn't happen, but they still had a really good record at 9-3 with the difficult schedule that they had, especially being on the road for a whole month.
Yeah. No, Sean, I think Sarkisian's done a great job, man. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, he can stay there as long as he wants. I don't know how long he wants to be there, but I remember what Texas was before that, with Tom Herman and Charlie Strong. Towards the end of Mac Brown time there, last 4 or 5 years. I mean, it was bad, man. It was real bad. So, but when they hired Steve, I mean, I was like, look, I didn't get it. Okay, this is the guy that was at USC, had a little too much fun, But I believe in second chances, and you know what? He's proven that's he gets it, man. He got that second chance. I really believe he believes it's the best job in college football. And even though I think for some reason, I think he wants to go to NFL for some reason. I don't know why I think that, but I think he's just wired that way. He wants to, keep going, but he wants to win a national championship first. And I think he has he's done that. He's gotten that almost. Well, he hasn't done that, but he's gotten us to a place where we haven't been before. And so now he's done a great job recruiting. Like Rob said, making these difficult decisions with the coaching, changing the DC this year, bringing in Muschamp, man, that's huge to me, man. I mean, that's like ego out the door. Okay, so yeah, I'm with Rob on that. He's done a great job. Stay as long as he wants.
To piggyback off that real quick, with Muschamp coming in, I think most people may not know this, but I know the three of us do. Muschamp was there before.
Yeah.
And he was the supposed coach in waiting under Mack. Am I right? Was that who he was under? Or was he under Herman?
He's under Mack.
Okay.
Yeah.
With all the talk last year about Sarkisian in the NFL, and everybody knows that's where he wants to end up eventually. Do you think that's why Muschamp is back, so that the reins to roll over is going to be right to Muschamp next?
If you're asking me first, I think at first that's kind of what I was thinking, bringing him back. Because when he was here, man, I mean, he was like, I think Mac was paying him a couple million. I mean, that was a lot for a coordinator back then.
Oh, yeah.
So, he was coaching, waiting for sure. And then, I can't remember what happened. Did he just get that job in Auburn or something? Or
South Carolina.
South Carolina. Okay, yeah. So maybe, yeah. So, but yeah, let's say Sark does leave, and I mean Muschamp, he can hold it down for a year or two. I mean, or maybe longer, just depending on what happens till they find the right guy. So it was a good move either way.
I think with Muschamp's history as a head coach, he may want to be a head coach again, but I don't think that Texas hired him thinking that maybe once Steve Sarkisian wins the national championship, that he would be their coach in waiting, being Muschamp. I don't know that Texas thinks that he's going to be the head coach of the future once Steve Sarkisian goes. Because I think the record that we've seen him have, he may not be a head coach guy. He may have already proven that that's not his niche. So hopefully he can continue to be a great defensive coordinator at the University of Texas. But I don't think they see him as the coach in waiting, the head coach in waiting.
That's kind of my thought on it. He went to South Carolina. He didn't have, well, I mean, of course, Texas has many more resources and available, than South Carolina does. But I don't know that. I mean, Texas can pretty much, we all know, can go get who they want. So I was curious. I didn't even think of it because I remember him being the coach in waiting. That's why I wanted to bring it up. With one take, Zay, we'll get to his comment here in a few minutes. He did pop off with 3 state of Texas boys. How fitting. So, well, and then we got our boy Level Up 10, old Mossberg. He's sitting there. Good evening, homies. So I'm going to jump around real quick on this question because y'all both said something in the question about Sarkisian that kind of piqued my interest on this next question, which is, as soon as I find it, talking about the coaches. So last year there was a lot of stuff brought up, and not just with Texas, but with other programs, about head coaches calling their own plays. Do you think it's time for Sarkisian to turn that over to somebody else? and we'll let Doug hit this one first.
I mean, to me, I kind of wish he would sometimes, man. But it's just not going to happen. You know, he's an OC that wants to call. You know, that it's a head coach that wants to call the plays. I mean, is it Venables at Oklahoma? Doesn't he call defense as a head coach? I mean, it's common deal. I mean, you know, when Sark calls the right play, he's a genius. You know, when he does dumb stuff. I mean, you know, you want a new OC. I think an offensive minded guy besides him there might help him out a little bit. That would, you know, I don't know who. Does he even have an offensive guy, assistant coach, in offense? Maybe, probably not. I don't know. So, I don't think it's going to happen, man. So, I like it too, but I don't think it's going to happen. Kendall Briles would be great, but I don't think it's going to happen.
I'm going to say absolutely not. I mean, even though there are times and stretches in games where I think Steve Sarkisian does some things that I would be like, dude, you didn't have to call that play. Or sometimes he has these long developing plays where, you know, we know these linemen can't block that long, and he does that stuff that kind of irks the hell out of me. But outside of that, when he gets in his rhythm and he's clicking, bro, you can't ask for a better offensive coordinator to be calling plays. It's not something that he's willing to give up. So if he's not willing to give it up, I'm saying absolutely not. We don't need an offensive coordinator. Let him do what he needs to do. He's been able to juggle them both. We've been able to see success with him doing both, so I'm all good with him continuing to be the head coach and the offensive play caller.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's fair. I mean, I don't know about Venables, Doug, but I know Elko calls the defense at A&M. I know he calls the defensive plays.
Maybe that's what I was thinking about.
It worked out for A&M last year. Their defense got better. So I don't have a problem with the head coach doing it. You saw so many issues last year with other schools where it became a problem.
Yeah, I think it could be too much sometimes.
That's the thing. Trying to deal with the NIL and the recruiting and the calling plays and game prep, so that was just my kind of angle on it. And when y'all both mentioned he was about hiring coaches and firing coaches, that just kind of led me straight to that one. So, yeah, it's not a surprise that y'all are both fine with it because you're right, Rob. When that offense is going, he's going. There are times where you're like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
But there's times where everybody in the country is going, wow, this dude's got something going here. So
I think he's great with personnel, man. When he got players, he knows how to use them. Like when he had Bijan, he ran the ball. He didn't give a damn. He knew what his bread and butter was, and so that's what I like about him, man.
I mean, that's fair. I mean, it's good. So jumping into back up towards the top here, I'm kind of curious. It was a season that didn't go, I don't think, the way a lot of Texas fans thought going into the season. But what would you say was your biggest disappointment watching the whole season, how it unplayed? Not just one player, but just the general. What was your most disappointing aspect of Texas's 2025 season? And we'll hit Rob.
I thought the offensive line was going to start off the season much better than what they played. I felt like even though we lost 4 starters the previous season, I thought those guys that were backing them up were guys who have been in the system for 3 or 4 years already. And it was just going to be plug and play. But we got to see that was not the case. So that was probably the biggest thing for me, that the offensive line just really wasn't any good until we finally got that last combination down the stretch of the last 3 or 4 games of the season. We really got to see the offensive line play really, really well. So that was the biggest thing for me. The offensive line just wasn't good at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, definitely the offensive line, but I would say the whole offense in general. They were just terrible, really, the first half of the season. It was to a point where even Sark as offensive coordinator he said that the identity of this team was the defense. Or Colin Simmons had to correct him, said no, it's offense, defense, and special teams. He had because they were at that point where they were like, man, we need to get something going here. And the quarterback play, of course, was a little disappointing because of all the hype, the overhype. But then, of course, he started playing better, and his numbers were, comparable to the best in the country. But nobody really wanted to give him credit for it. But so it was just a back and forth with the offense. I think now they're good now. And also, I have to say, I thought the defense would be a little bit better. Honestly, I guess that's why they made a move with the defensive coordinator. But yeah, all in all, man, I think the biggest disappointment to me was definitely the offense and how slow they started, for sure. Starting with the offensive line, like Rob said.
You're on mute. You're on mute.
Yeah, you're on mute, my man.
Oh, sorry. I hit mute when y'all are talking because I never know how long either one of you is going to ramble. So,
gotcha.
I agree with you. That was probably something I saw. I was really, my biggest disappointment was that y'all figured out the offensive line in the last game of the season. That was my biggest disappointment. So,
perfect timing.
Well, we'll agree to disagree.
That kind of game, man.
Again, this is kind of the backside of that, going into the season with all the hype and all that, with Heisman Trophy candidate and all this. Forget all that. Something that happened with this team that surprised you the most, like that one kid who just kind of, even a player or just something that just made you like, wow, this. Just a wow moment from the season.
I'm going to go with that freshman DB. It was a Littleton. That dude he ended up playing the second most snaps on defense, man, as a true freshman. That's impressive. And he's not a very big kid, but man, he plays big and he's around the ball all the time. I mean, I can't wait to see him next year. He definitely stood out for sure. And of course, he's gone now. He's a freaking Sooner, so I don't even want to mention his name. But he had a great spring and all this stuff. So he was a good player, but now he's gone. So, but yeah. So I'll go with I think it's Littleton over there, DB.
I have been hearing so much about Ryan Niblett and his playmaking ability, man, that I hadn't seen it in his first two seasons. And so once he was playing kickoff return and punt return, he wasn't fielding punts well at the beginning of the season. And I was like, well, no wonder that we haven't been seeing this dude. He ain't fielding these freaking punts, man. He's giving up all this yardage, and the offense got to start inside their freaking 20 because this guy's not fielding punts. But then all of a sudden we get to see the explosion of Ryan Niblett, who I believe probably should have been a first-team All-American at special teams, either on a punt return or the kickoff return unit. But that's neither here nor there. He was my biggest surprise because he won 3 games for us, or he put us in position to win 3 games. And we all know how important special teams are to any team. That's the third phase of the game. And to have a guy like Ryan Niblett back there, for one, you knew what he could do with the return game, but he also put some fear in the punter's heart because they weren't punting as great as they probably would had he not been back there. So I'm going with Ryan Niblett, man. He was the guy who I felt like was the biggest surprise for me because I hadn't seen him do anything yet. And he started off the beginning of the season kind of shaky. But once he got rolling, man, Ryan Niblett was the dude.
Yeah, those are both superior answers there. I have a couple of players that I've got a couple questions. These are just, you kind of answered them with that, but I'd really, for somebody as an outsider looking in, I was really excited about that. Ty Anthony, was it Ty Anthony Smith, the linebacker, freshman? Wasn't he a freshman?
No, this is second year.
Okay, sophomore.
Yeah.
But I mean, he was filling in when Hill was out, and I mean, there was no drop off. So he was really a big surprise to me. How well he filled the role with Anthony Hill. That just meant Anthony Hill meant a lot to that defense. And when he's down and this guy comes in, you don't miss a beat. That says a lot about the kid, his work ethic, and being ready to go when your number's called. So he was probably the most surprising for me. I actually have a fear of that kid coming up this year. I think he's going to be a monster.
That's a good one right there.
Last year, Rob, you hit on this earlier, so did Doug a little bit. Y'all had serious issues running the ball. And you lost, 3, 4, 5 running backs to the portal?
Mm-hmm.
I know you got a couple guys coming in for the portal, and I'm not going to look ahead to 2026, but do you think enough was done at the end based on the trouble you had running the ball? Has enough been done to fix that issue?
I definitely believe that they have done enough in the portal. They're going to be returning 3 guys who have a lot of starting experience on that offensive line this year. So instead of replacing 4 guys, they're only replacing 2. So that's always a good thing. And I feel like in the portal, they did really, really good with the pickups that they got, especially if they give this young man from, I think it might be Western Michigan or Eastern Michigan, if he gets awarded is another year of eligibility, that will really help Texas out a whole lot. A guy who has a whole lot of playing experience, over 1,000 snaps. So I'm looking forward to Texas offensive line being really, really good this season. If they can gel, they got to be able to gel and get that time during the spring, which Texas is going to have a couple of guys who are not going to be there in the spring, which is going to allow some players to get a chance to get some reps and get their feet wet. So that's going to be good for them, but not necessarily good for that offensive line gelling, because I think Trevor Gooseby might be down a little bit during the springtime. But we already know what Trevor Gooseby can do.
Yeah, I think they did a really about as good a job as you can do losing 3 or 4 freaking running backs, man. I mean, that's terrible to me. I mean, that really hurt. But the guys that they got, though, I mean, they look pretty darn good. And but my biggest concern is the offensive line, like Rob was saying. They're bringing in some guys I think that are going to help, that are nasty, that are big and strong. But it's about, like you said, gelling. When it comes to these units, the offensive line is different. It's not like the DBs or the linebackers or the wide receiver group or the quarterback. Those guys need to come together. They need to really gel. So it'll be interesting to see how they're gonna sort that in such a short period of time. But I thought they did a good job with getting the running backs, the situation settled, and they still got some young guys coming in. A 5-star from Florida. I'm still waiting to see this Terry III from Alamo Heights. He's great athlete. Maybe he'll be a running back. Maybe he'll be a wide receiver. We'll see. So I think they'll be okay. They're gonna run the ball next year.
Yeah, I was not gonna lie, I was kind of shocked that y'all were able to get both those running backs. I thought you'd get one of them, but I didn't think you'd flip the other one away from Alabama. Smothers, I didn't see that happening, but yeah, we're in the same boat y'all are too. We're replacing 4 offensive linemen this year, so I don't know what we're gonna do. Hopefully Marcel just runs. I don't know. We'll see what happens with that, but that's my big fear too. So this is kind of a double-edged, but this is more. The last question was mainly based on your running back room, but y'all lost a lot in the portal. A lot of players left.
Sure did.
You didn't bring in more than you lost, but are you comfortable with what they brought in to cover the losses? I mean, obviously the big get was Cam Coleman. Okay, you got Cam Coleman, you got rid of your favorite boy from Oklahoma now, Parker. So obviously that's going to be an upgrade there. But in general, with how many players y'all lost, are you comfortable with what's coming in?
Man, I'll tell you this, man. We did lose a lot. That's for dang sure. If we didn't get this Cam guy, this whole thing would be an absolute mess. It'd be we'd be screwed. This would not work out that well for us, I don't think. Because we lose like 18, 22 kids. I mean, we got a lot. 22. That's a whole recruiting class, man. Gone. So, and how many did we replace? How many did we get? I think
16.
Double digits. Okay.
I think y'all lost like 24 and got 18 or something.
Okay.
We lost 22 and got 16.
Okay.
That's not bad. I mean, but yeah, like I said, the Cam thing has probably really put us over the top. So, I think we're hosting another wide receiver today from Wake Forest, Sterling Burkhalter or something like that. I don't know. We got our commitment from an edge rusher, Cameron Hall from Mansville Summit. He's really good. And we got that Western Kentucky.
We're not going to talk about him. We're not going to talk about that kid.
Okay. I'm sorry. But he must have decommitted or something from somewhere. So we also got an offensive lineman from Western Kentucky. So, hopefully these guys. I think Robbie said we got 3 guys returning, right, on the offensive line.
Yeah.
Okay. So it has to be it'll be a good competition. It'll be a heck of a competition. We'll see how it works out. So.
Yeah, I think Texas did an excellent job, man. They knew what they needed, and they went after guys who they knew could come in and plug and play. Some guys for depth, but for the most part, the areas where they lost a lot of players, they filled all of those voids with somebody who could come in and possibly play right away, especially at that cornerback position when you lose Manny Muhammad and you lose Gilbo. We got a guy that can push in there and start. They're probably going to move Littleton out to the cornerback position and take him away from that star because Muschamp wants a bigger guy there. So I think they're going to be fine. But the biggest thing, I think, was them being able to keep Kobe Black at Texas and getting him to come back out of the portal, and Derek Williams. I think getting both of those dudes to come back out of the portal and come back to Texas was huge. I really wish they would have been able to get the same for Elijah Big Bo Barnes, but he decided to go to Kentucky, so I wish him well. But I think Texas did an excellent job. They filled the void that they were going to have at the defensive tackle position, at the linebacker position. They want to get another edge guy, but they don't really need another edge guy. They got enough bodies there. I feel like they did an excellent job at the wide receiver position, getting the number 1 prospect in the portal. And they did well at the running back position and the offensive line. So all of their spots that needed to be filled, Texas was able to do that. Are they going to get some more insurance policies at some of those positions? Of course. That's what Texas does. So I'm happy with what they've done.
Yeah, I have to say, I mean, you're talking about needing another edge rusher, but there's one thing that as a A&M fan or even a Texas, any major school, Ohio State, there's somebody on that roster. I don't even care if that's his position that can play that position. There's a kid that's nasty enough with enough speed and strength to play the edge and just pin his ears and go.
It's a hybrid position nowadays.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it is. So there's somebody on that roster, if you don't get one, that can do that. Probably about 6 of them. we'll get into some other questions here in a minute. I know our buddy Moss had said he asked this question. It's been 2 straight years preseason with title hopes, number 1 in the polls. Is this a must win the natty year for Texas? Is this natty or bust for Texas?
I don't think so, man. I think as long as Texas does what they need to do, they win enough games and they make it to the college football playoffs, I think the fans will be satisfied with that. Of course, we want to win a national title. I mean, but I don't think it's title or bust, because the reality is you want to always be in the picture. And I think Texas, for at least the last 3 seasons, they've been in the picture. So I think that it's not natty or bust. But I know that the fans will really like to see Steve Sarkisian get a natty sooner than later. That's for sure.
Before you go, Doug, I didn't think about it before I asked the question and let Rob go. So I'll let Rob finish this. Is it a college football playoff or bust?
Yeah. I will say it's definitely college football playoff or bust. I mean, we were right on the edge of it this past season, and the way it played out, I think a lot of people feel like, man, if Texas was in it would have been a better playoff. But I think they definitely got to make the college football playoffs. Now, going to a 9-game SEC schedule might make that a little bit more difficult, but at the same time, maybe the committee might show the SEC some more love like they did this past season, and possibly Texas can get in there with a 3-loss, playing a 9-game SEC schedule.
Yeah, I'm with Rob, man. It's definitely not a natty or bust. Definitely a playoff or bust. I mean, I was hoping they're going to go to. I thought they were going to go to 16, but they decided to go with 12 again, right? So, it's going to be a little bit harder. But yeah, it's definitely a playoff or bust. I mean, as long as they're in the picture, Final Four every year, that's all. We can't really ask for much more than that, especially today in college football. So, yeah, definitely playoffs or bust next year with Arch and everything. And by the way, Arch had minor foot surgery. I don't know what that's about, but he'll be all right. He'll be back. So, yeah, next year, I mean, the hype was crazy this year. Preseason number 1. But next year, definitely, I don't think I like a natty. I think they should have a chance for a natty next year, but playoff or bust for sure, man.
Yeah, that's kind of where I lean with Texas. With the talent that's there and how much is going to depart after next season, I feel like your upcoming season's got to be that. When I'm sure we're going to do a preseason preview for every team. So I'm sure we can get into more of that later on, because I got some more thoughts on that one too, but I'll save them for that show with y'all. Zay asked, and I was trying to find out exactly what he meant, but he said, do y'all have any Texas guys out there that's in coaching right now? So I'm going to assume, because I haven't seen him respond to my question, I'm going to assume that he's meaning former Texas players coaching somewhere.
Oh, Blake Gideon. He's back with the Texas Longhorns with Muschamp. That's one that comes to mind. Major Applewhite. Who else?
There's quite a few guys that are out there. Ocam, big defensive line coach. I thought for sure when they were looking for a defensive line coach a couple of years ago, I thought for sure Frank Ocam was going to be the one who got that position, but he decided to stay in the NFL, which was probably good for him. I think Derek Johnson, you're going to eventually see coaching college football here pretty soon. He is working out with the linebacker that we just got. His name slips my mind, but he's been working with him and our man Michael Huff. Eventually, both of those two guys are going to be college coaches, And there's quite a few guys who are coaching high school ranks too, like Romance Taylor, who had gotten some issues at Texas and that the year after the national championship. So there's guys out there that are coaching. It's quite a few dudes. And eventually they'll probably make it to the college ranks and you'll see their names out there.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was running through a list of who was former Aggies that were coaching, and I was trying to run across some Longhorns. I know Whitaker, Fozzie, he did some stuff again with Pearland.
Pearland, okay, yeah.
The running backs over in Pearland, where he's from.
Yep.
So I remember, him. I know it's a Texas season review, but I saw a weird thing yesterday. The kid we got, the running back at A&M, the kid from Carthage.
Mm-hmm.
You know who his cousins are? Or no, I'm sorry, not the kid. The kid from Richmond Randall. The one who's the best running back, Norris.
Yeah. Callis. Yeah.
His cousins, Jaquiz Rogers.
No way. The Rogers twins?
The Rogers boys are his cousins. Sorry, I knew.
Nice bloodline right there, man.
Yeah. So, no, it's a Texas thing, but it popped across my feed the other day, and I was like, wow, I did not realize that. So,
the same thing with Jermaine Bishop Jr., Michael Bishop.
Right.
Nephew or something like that or something.
I always wonder why Todd Dodge never went to the college ranks. He just stayed at the high school. I wonder why he never went to the college ranks. Former quarterback at Texas back in the day.
There's a lot of stuff there. You can make good money coaching in Texas.
Yeah.
And there's not as much of the BS. You don't have to deal with all the big boosters. Y'all from Texas know how that can go. You got to kiss the boosters' hands and their rings and other parts. And Todd just wasn't his thing. I think didn't he go to North Texas for a little bit? I thought he was at UNT. But I mean, it was like he was there for a couple of years. It didn't work out, and he left and went right back to like Austin Westlake.
Well, Riley's giving it a shot.
Yeah.
Going to SMU.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah. So post game popped in. Glad to see you in here post game. Texas O-line will be major key going into the next season. I think we all agree with that. I think that can be said for most schools. Trenches is where the game's won. We know that. I don't know. Do y'all have a kid on your team with the last name Biles?
Yeah.
Is he from Columbus?
Yeah, he's from Columbus. The linebacker that we got out of Pitt.
The one from Pickerington. Okay.
Yeah, he's from Columbus, Ohio. So I'm really high on him. I know Fanduzea says he's a little bit slow, but he's a playmaker, and he's a guy who's going to make a whole bunch of tackles. So I think him and Anthony Smith are going to fit well. I know that Muschamp is going to scheme up some schemes for both of them to be on the field at the same time, because that's a lot of athleticism right there at that linebacker position. Neither one of those are downhill guys that's going to come down and thump your skull. But I think they're both good in-space tacklers, though, and they can cover really, really well, too. So if you look at Ty Anthony Smith and the fact that he got 2 interceptions last year, Biles had 3. I think 2 of them he might have returned for pick sixes. So that's going to be a lot of talent at that linebacker position. I really like Biles.
You think Tyler Atkinson can see the field next year? Or you think they're going as a true freshman?
He's really probably the only thumper that we got in that linebacker position. That's the name I was looking for. He's working with Derek Johnson right now.
Okay, yeah. That's good.
He's really the only real thumper that we got on the roster that we know is going to get some playing time. I think he's going to get to see the field.
Okay. Cool. So now they changed the redshirt rule, didn't they? The freaking 9 games or something like that?
No, they want.
They did that?
They I don't think no.
Okay.
That's
crazy.
That's some like AI generated crap right there. That's BS right there.
Good.
But I did see that Diego Pavia is trying to get another year somehow. I mean, come on, get out of here. I mean, whatever. Post game, I didn't say it because I thought y'all didn't know. Gotta love it. Love my buddy post game. He makes me laugh.
Post is on his game all the time.
He's always on it. So back to the questions I put together. This is kind of one I'm curious to hear both sides of y'all from. What were your thoughts on Arch and his performance throughout the year with all the hype that was thrown on this kid? Heisman Trophy winner, greatest quarterback in the history of college. How do you think he handled it and performed throughout the year? And it don't matter who goes.
I thought he handled it great, man. I mean, the hype was crazy, and the offensive line didn't help him. I mean, the guy was getting beat up. That Florida game, he got his butt kicked in that Florida game. He earned a lot of respect too, but the hype was way too much for that kid. And he started off really slow, but then like I said, he built it back up, and then next thing you know, you look at his stats, and it's the same as everybody else in the country that's any good. But for some reason, nobody wanted to say nothing. Nobody wanted to, they already flipped. They didn't want to go back. But here we are now, and guess who's the Heisman runner next year? It's going to be Arch Manning. So I think the hype is real. It was just too much. It was just overblown when he didn't really do nothing. I mean, he played a few games, but before that, but didn't really do much. So, but no, I think he handled it great, man. And the kid's tough, man. He runs the ball hard like a running back. Like I can't even describe it. He just runs like a train or something. But no, man. I think he did a great job, and now we know that he is the guy, and he's going to be the guy. So for the least for next year, maybe I don't know. It might be the last year, but yeah, we're good with Arch Manning.
For a guy who had to face as much adversity as he did, I was more excited about him having to face all that adversity in comparison to some of the other quarterbacks who didn't face very much at all. But then when they finally did face some, you got to see that they weren't quite ready, or they didn't play quite as well. But in the instance of Arch Manning, though, he started off kind of shaky. I knew he could make all of those throws. The reality was his offensive line, his wide receivers didn't help him in certain instances as well, and certain things he didn't quite have figured out yet. But as the season went on, he was definitely one of the top 5 quarterbacks, in my opinion, in the country. He was able to do some things that really showed everybody in the country how good of a quarterback he could be. He was making throws. And if you go look at statistically how many times he was pressured in games and then look at his stats, it's unbelievable, man, because he was getting pressured. Nearly 80% of his dropbacks, he was getting pressured. And he ends the season with over 3,000 yards passing, 26 touchdowns, only 7 interceptions. I don't think he threw many picks the last maybe 4 or 5 games of the season. So he played really, really well once Steve Sarkisian was able to put him in better situations, and he understood what he needed to do whenever he had to extend plays. He was able to make some things happen. And I'm ecstatic about what he's going to look like next year, especially if the offensive line can do their part and the wide receivers can catch these freaking footballs, because they had a lot of drops last year too.
Yeah. Wingo.
All I can say is the way it started off with that offensive line and stuff, y'all better be grateful he had more of the Arch Manning legs than the Peyton Manning legs.
Yeah.
Because that kid would have had about negative 9,000 rushing yards if he was Peyton Manning.
Or even Eli.
Well, Eli was a little better than Peyton at least, but
Well, I'm not saying much.
yeah, it's not. But it's as an outsider, I was kind of impressed with the way he came on at the end. He got more decisive at the end in my mind, where if he didn't see it and didn't like it, he'd just bolt and run. And that kid's a lot faster and a lot quicker than people think he is.
Sure.
And I'm sure the last name has something to do with thinking he's not athletic. He can just throw it. That's not this Manning. Okay. He's not a dual threat, but he can hurt you enough. So I was pretty impressed with the way he kind of progressed throughout the year. I was kind of pissed off the way he progressed throughout the year too, but that's a whole different subject.
He's tough as nails too, bro. He was taking some licks. He is tough as all get out.
He earned a lot of respect from taking those licks too, as a quarterback. Because I don't know what really changed. Because like early in the season, like he just seemed like his timing, it was so off, man. Like he was not on time with anything. And it was to the point where I was like, man, where's the backup? You know, where's Trey Owens and this other guy? You know, but man, no, that's a tough kid, man. And he's the man next year for sure. The hype is real this time. The Heisman stuff, it's real. You know, earlier this season, it was all hype. Now it's real. So
there's no doubt it's going to be real. It was real last year. It wasn't right for that to be thrown on first year. I mean, a first year starter. I mean, to me, that just wasn't right. That put way too much on that kid's shoulders. And I think he was trying to be a Heisman instead of being a quarterback. Kind of the same thing I felt about Marcel Reed when he started getting some Heisman hype and all that. He kind of started trying to do too much with his arm, and I think it hurt us. So I think the same can be said for Manning. I think the hype got to him, and he was trying to be a Heisman versus being the quarterback. This is going to be a back and forth with y'all. I'll let Rob get the first one. Doug, you can go first on the second one. You can't pick the same person. Who is your offensive MVP, Robert?
I mean, it has to be Arch Manning. I mean, he has to be the offensive MVP. Even though my man Niblett won a couple of games for Texas, if it wasn't for Arch Manning and some of the things that he did at that quarterback position, especially the way he was getting pressured, Texas would have had a worse record than what they had. So I'm going with Arch Manning there as my offensive MVP.
Wow, that's a tough one, man. If I can't go Arch, I mean, like Rob said, man. I mean, Niblett. I mean, he did win us about 2 or 3 games, and special teams. So
yeah.
Besides that, I mean, I'd like to say, I mean, Wingo is dangerous, man, but like he just drops too many balls. I think he'll get better with that, but if I can't go Arch, I'm going Niblett.
Those are my top 2 for y'all. Easy. Well, we're my top 2. Doug's got this one first. Your defensive MVP. That one's a little tougher in my mind because y'all had some cats on that D.
That's tough, man. As much as I love Colin Simmons, I do love Colin Simmons and Hill and all these guys. I'm gonna go with a senior, man. I'm gonna go with Burke. Burke had a great year. Even coming into this year, I remember Colin Simmons was just singing his praises, how much better he got. And I thought that was freaking awesome, by the way. Those guys are like bros, man. And they're completely different backgrounds. But I would say Burke, man, because you know what? 2 years in a row, the game against A&M, I mean, he dominated, man. 2 years in a row against A&M, dominated. And now he has a chance to be a pro, man. And I'm happy for him. So It's a tough one, man. So many good players, but I mean, I think next year I'll probably go with Colin anyway. So we'll go with Burke. Go Burke with this year, man.
I like that you mentioned Ethan Burke, man, because I think if you go back and you look at his first 3 seasons before this past season, where he was playing on the opposite end of Baron Sorrell, he was playing a different kind of end position. Then he moves into Baron Sorrell's position and he plays lights out.
That's
like
a great
Baron
point.
Sorrell did, and I was impressed with Ethan Burke as well. There's a couple of guys I can go with on this defense. I mean, I think Colin Simmons is probably the obvious choice because without him, I don't know that Texas would have been they wouldn't have been able to force offenses into some of the decision making they made in their games. Because if you go back and watch that Ohio State game, it was because of Colin Simmons that they were throwing the ball quick and really wasn't waiting to make plays, let plays develop down the field because of Colin Simmons, one, and then because they had a young quarterback too. But I think Colin Simmons is probably the guy. But without Manny Muhammad, man, out there on the field, you see what happened to us against Florida. I think he was probably the most valuable dude on that defense because without him, with the mistakes they were making on the back end, they weren't as good without Manny Muhammad. So I'm going to go with Manny Muhammad as my defensive MVP.
Yeah, I knew that one would be a little tougher to come down to one person because, I mean, you had some stars on offense, but your defense was star-studded. And so I knew that one would be a little tougher. See, I went a different way when I was thinking about it.
You didn't even mention Anthony Hill.
I know.
Anthony Hill was awesome, man.
But I went a different way with who I would have selected if I looked at it as your safety, Taffy. When he was out, that secondary could not figure out who was supposed to be where.
Yeah, that was tough.
So, not that, I mean, he made plays and stuff, but I think I would have leaned towards him because of his leadership, his making sure the captain of the defense, pretty much, the quarterback of the defense. That's what I looked at him as. I'm glad he's gone. I've seen enough of that cat for a couple of years. I'm good with him gone.
Come on, man. It's a walk on.
But you couldn't have gone wrong with any. You could have probably picked 2 or 3 other people across that defense. Like I said, we didn't mention Anthony Hill, so I know. Let me see if we got any new comments real quick. We're not going to. I mean, Boss wants to know season predictions, and will the Hearts have a seat? But that's going to be for our preview show. We'll get into that later in the year. We can hit this one real quick if y'all want. Thoughts on their bowl game and how it looked. I mean, I think we've all kind of mentioned before bowl games are bowl games with so many opt-outs now. Is it really a real assessment of what the team is or isn't? So, but if y'all want to speak on the game against Michigan and how that played out, I think Arch looked really good in that game, though. I'll tell you that.
I really just wanted to see if they were going to come out and be physical. There were some times this season where Texas did not play a real physical style of football. I think they got out physical against Georgia and they got out physical against Florida. 2 losses that they had. And I wanted to see were these guys who was getting the opportunity to play with so many guys opting out, going to the NFL, some guys jumping in the portal, which means they weren't going to waste any time letting these guys get any reps. They throwing in these young guys. Were they still going to be able to be physical? Were they going to be able to match Michigan's physicality, who we know is going to play physical? And I think they did just that. That was a very, very physical game from both teams, and they answered that question for me. So I was excited about the fact that they played physical in that game, and they came out with the victory.
Yeah, man, I'm glad they played the game, man. I know these bowl games are what they are now, but this is Texas and Michigan, You know, you don't say no to a bowl game with those two teams, and they both showed up, man. It was a great game. Like Rob said, I mean, the physicality was there. I was like, man, here we go again, man. This is another physical team. What are we gonna do? And man, they stepped it up, man. We ran the ball with this Clark guy that I guess he left already. But
No, Clark stayed.
oh, he stayed?
He stayed, yeah.
Oh,
he was the
okay.
only one who stayed out of that running back
Oh,
room.
my goodness.
I
Okay.
Simon were the
I
only
thought he
two
left, man.
the other 5 guys left. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank goodness. But yeah, man, they were physical. They played, and I was with all the guys opting out for various reasons. I was excited to see some new blood, man. Some younger guys. They got to play some guys, and they stepped up, man, against a great team. You know, Michigan got some players, man. I mean, they got some issues too, man, with the staff and everything, man. But they got some players. And it was a great game, like you said. Sean Arch looked great, man. So I'm glad they played.
This is going to be just a rapid fire, quickest thing that pops into your head on these next 2 questions, and then I'm going to ask y'all a question. I'm going to ask you that question now. This is a trivia question.
Oh, crap.
This is, I graduated from Commerce High School. Tell me, who is the running back that played at the University of Texas in the mid-90s, early 90s, I think, maybe late 80s, from Commerce High School? I'll let y'all think about that for a minute.
Hey man, give us an A, B, C, and D or something.
Nope.
In the early 90s?
I'm going to see how well you know.
Eric Metcalf? No.
No, Eric Metcalf's not from Commerce, Texas. Wore number 29.
What?
He wore 29.
In the early 90s. 29.
Yeah, early to mid 90s. Yeah, right around there.
Was he a starter? He played a little bit?
Yeah, he played.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, man.
No.
Wasn't Priest Holmes.
No.
No, a little bit later.
It was before then.
Yeah.
This is back when they still had the big
Priest
wide
Holmes?
shoulders. No, it wasn't. It was before Priest.
So it was with who was that dang coach, man? Can't stand that guy.
We had R.C. Slocum.
Was Victor Ike?
No.
No.
Name, it's the only Texas Longhorn player I've ever liked. His name was Philip Brown.
Oh,
Philip Brown.
Bill Brown.
Early 90s.
Yep.
got me on that.
It must have been a John Makovic recruit or something.
May have been, but I was tripping out because an old A&M game popped up on my feed the other day, and I looked at it, and it was like, and Phil Brown with the gun. I was like, whoa. I know him.
Yeah.
Only
I don't even know who they are.
player I ever rooted for.
Wow. Okay. Well, now we know. Brown. His last name is Brown.
Now
20.
Yeah, number 29. Go look him up in the go look him up.
Okay.
We've already mentioned some of these people like Arch and stuff like that, but this is something I'm curious. Somebody that was expected to be great that just fell apart, that you just were like, you know, who was the player that just kind of with the season, you're like, what happened to him? He was supposed to be, and he was, and he took a step back, in other words. Because I know who mine is in this case.
That's a tough one.
Man, that's a good question, man. Somebody who underperformed.
Not that they didn't have good stats, just somebody that you really thought was going to explode and be this phenomenal and just didn't.
I mean,
You know I didn't think that I thought this was the year DeAndre Moore was going to light it up, man. And I didn't know he was that bad of a route runner. I thought he was a better route runner and could get separation from some guys. If
Just
I had
legs.
to pick a guy, and I love DeAndre Moore because he's a guy who's going to stick his nose in there and block like heck whenever we throw those screens. But I expected more out of DeAndre Moore. He had a couple of drops as well. And he just could not get separation from the defensive backs, man, to where I thought he would be able to do. So I would go with DeAndre Moore as the guy who I thought was going to have a better season than what he did, even though he had an outstanding game where he had a trifecta in touchdowns in a game. I think it was either Mississippi State or Vanderbilt, one of those two. But I will go with DeAndre Moore.
And DeAndre Moore, where did he go to Colorado? I think he's at Colorado now. Yeah.
He's at Colorado.
Oh, man. He might do pretty well over there. I'm gonna kind of stick with that with the wide receivers, man. And even though this guy had some awesome explosive plays, man, I'm gonna go with Wingo. Just at times, Wingo, man, I don't know what it is. Like he got hands like feet sometimes, and other times he'll make a catch where he'll just barely like the tip of his fingers, man. He'll just snatch it. You know, Arch likes to throw the ball high for some reason. I don't know what the deal is. But Wingo, as good as he is, man, in some moments he just killed me. It's like, man, just catch the ball, because all he has to do is catch the ball. Like honestly, those little swing passes they do to him, if he catches the ball and he gets one block, he's gone. That's how good he is. But I think he's gonna fix that. But I think he's special. He just need to catch the dang ball more better. And once he does that, man, he's gonna be unstoppable. So I guess I'll go with Wingo a little bit.
That's where that was my answer for that, because I went into the season expecting huge numbers out of that dude. And then every time I was watching the game, it was like ball drop. He make the hard contested catches, but he dropped the wide open slants that he can take to the house. That was my answer, was Wingo.
His route running is bad too.
Yeah. That is something I did notice at the University. There's not a lot of good route runners. They've got speed. Even Coleman's not a great route runner, by the way.
Yeah.
But that's one thing I noticed. It seemed like the one kid who left, Parker, was the one who would run good, clean, crisp routes to me.
You know, Dylan McCutcheon is going to be a heck of a route runner too. Once he gets he got to get his hands together too, because he dropped a nice easy ball against Michigan. But he can run some routes. I like Dylan McCutcheon. Oh
yeah. That's just one of those. I was shocked at Wingo. I really expected him to put up huge numbers.
We'll see next year, man. I mean, same year as Arch, I think. I think they came in together. So
yeah, I think he's going to be helped by having Cam Coleman out there with him. It'll take some of the spotlight away from him.
I heard he helped getting Cam over there. Wingo helped.
All these kids help get each other everywhere, but I think that Cam Coleman's going to take some spotlight, so it's not going to be this big, huge star on Wingo. The spotlight's not on him every game, so he can.
That's a good point.
I think that's going to help him a lot. I hope I'm wrong, and maybe he'll still drop passes, at least the last game of the year. But that's here nor there. This one is a little bit tricky. It's kind of the same question, but reversed. We're not picking Arch Manning. We're not, no. And you're not picking Littleton either. Who's a player that burst onto the scene that you were like, okay, this guy's going to be good, but then he was just like, wow, this guy's good.
That's a good question, man. I'm going to go defense.
Yeah.
I'm going to go defensive line. Duncanville, Texas. Not Colin Simmons.
No.
His high school teammate. Last name January.
Mm-hmm.
That kid came out of nowhere. I was like, who the heck is this? What the hell is a January? Duncanville? I was like, okay. Team okay. And I looked up, I said, okay, I remember that kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I mean, he's quick off the ball. He's not the biggest kid. I think he'll get bigger. He'll work a little bit on with his hands and stuff, man. But dude, he looked pretty good, man. He looked pretty good. So I'm gonna go. I don't know his first name. I can't remember.
Alex.
I'm gonna go Alex January, Duncanville, Texas, Deville.
Man, that's a really good one. It's a good question. I'm gonna try to find somebody on the offensive side since Doug went on the defensive side, and I'm gonna go with Brandon Baker, who played right tackle. Now, Brandon Baker had a lot. He had a lot of false start penalties, couple holes, but a guy who's never played gets thrown in there at the right tackle position. One of the positions where we had Big Cam Williams, who should have stayed at Texas for another season. But I'm gonna go with Brandon Baker because if you look at his pro football focus grades, he wasn't bad at the right tackle, man. He did a really decent job, better than what he looked like he was going to do at the beginning of the season. He was able to fix some things in mid-season towards the end of the season, and he wasn't a big liability. I'll go with him as my surprise guy.
What year is he? Is he coming back?
Yeah, he's coming back.
Okay, good.
They're gonna probably move him into guard though. He's better suited for right guard than he is right tackle. So I think the guy they got out of the portal is probably gonna be the right tackle, and he's gonna bump into guard.
Is that Wake Forest guy maybe? Or is it Wake Forest?
The guy you sent me a picture of twice trying to tell me you committed the offense. Doug's we got this guy, and it was the Wake Forest offensive lineman from the portal, and then 30 minutes later, he sends me the same picture. This one, too, and I was like, same guy.
I thought it was the other guy, man.
I was like, what are we doing? You going to clone this dude? He going to play. He going to get 4 more pictures. He going to be the whole offensive line, this one guy.
I was getting excited, man, okay?
Oh, you were. Good, really good picks, both of them. Like the January pick. Like the pick you give Rob, throwing that kid into right guard in the SEC games. It'd be the same throwing him in the fire in the Big Ten, but playing in the trenches in those conferences, just to be thrown in there, man, that was pretty impressive. Didn't really have one. My overperforming player for y'all was Niblett, just because he came out of nowhere. But we mentioned him in other spots. You're dead right. He won you 3 games. He won you the Oklahoma game. I don't care what y'all say. Without that punt return against Oklahoma, that game was tight.
Come on, man. Oklahoma scored a touchdown in 3 years in that game.
Doesn't matter. In that game, it was a tight game, and he broke that punt, and it was over.
It did. That was a great game.
He won you the Kentucky game.
Sure did.
And I'm sure there's another one I'm missing. Probably Mississippi State.
Mississippi State. No chance in hell if he didn't return that punt.
That's right, because I was like, why did you even punt the ball to that dude? I never watched it. Yeah, you're right. But those were kind of the guys I thought. I'm a big, Aggie guy. We always joke about hating Longhorns, but I keep up with them to an extent anyway, just because it's Texas and I know I've heard of a lot of the kids through high school football and stuff. So I always keep up with a lot of the local high school products. So yeah, I mean, my synopsis of Texas was, I think you had too much put on you at the beginning of the year. I think 9-3 is about right. Should you have been in the playoffs? Should you have not? We're not going to get into that because I think we all agree, even I agree, you probably should have been in the playoffs, especially over Tulane or James Madison. But to me, I feel like Texas had a pretty good year, should have been in the playoffs, but we're going to see where it goes from here. I just think I think the hype was too much at the beginning, And I honestly think losing to a Florida team, a bad Florida team, to be honest, was a little more overhyped than it should have been. I mean, that was a road game in the SEC. We've seen Indiana, who just won the national title, struggle on the road at Penn State, who was not good either. So those are just my kind of my overall 30,000 foot view of the program. I think Texas is in a good place. I do agree. You better make the college football playoff, or there's going to be a lot of chatter to get Sark out of there. I really honestly think that the boosters would start getting frustrated if they go 2 years in a row with the money they've spent and the talent that's there, that they're going to start chirping a little bit.
I mean, they got the defense, they got the coordinator. Yeah.
Right. So, going to look forward to the season preview with y'all. I don't know when y'all do those, Rob. I'm sure y'all probably do it closer to August.
Yeah.
So look forward to getting y'all's thoughts and get a little more. We'll have a lot more depth on it by then. We'll know a little bit more of your too deep look. We'll know a lot more of what we're looking at. So, it was a good breakdown. Good, good answers, good questions, good going back and forth a little bit. So we'll put a wrap on the 2025 Texas Longhorn season. That's still hard to say.
Hurts.
I got to wash my mouth out. So we'll put a wrap on the season with them and get ready to prep for next year with them. I'm sure it's going to have a lot of fun little talks going back and forth.
Hey, man, we still got college basketball, right?
Yeah, we got basketball going. I'm liking where my Ags are in that. We got, baseball coming up. I'm waiting to see. I still like that series. Texas and Texas A&M is going to be a great series. We'll get into that some more.
We do some softball too, man.
Most definitely. We'll talk some softball. Yeah. We'll talk. Look, man, this is WTP Sports Dudes. This ain't WTP, we only talk college football, dudes. If it's got a ball,
I'll break it down. I'll break it down some softball. A lot of people don't know much about it.
Yeah, you can be the softball guru because, dude, Rob,
I will
traveled all over the U.S. to do a travel ball softball with his daughter.
I will be in Norman, Oklahoma, April 21st when Arkansas Pine Bluff plays Oklahoma.
Well,
and my kid's going to be the starting pitcher.
I'll be in Martinsville, Virginia, watching a NASCAR race.
Oh, really? That day? That weekend? Yeah. Or whatever day it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
I will be running a podcast tomorrow night. I got to update some NASCAR stuff because we've had some changes made to the stuff coming up that have happened this week. So I'm going to jump on tomorrow with that. Everybody watching, you see all those channels scrolling at the bottom. You see Robert up there. He's our WTP for life. He's kind of the one that put this whole group together. I think sometimes he questions his decisions, but we're going to live with it. We're here now. You got Level Up Sports 10, Mossberg. He's another great one. Parlay Poe, he runs the Blitzburg podcast. You've got Post Game with his Post Game 86 podcast. You got City League TV. They're on YouTube and Facebook. I believe they're on both. They do a lot of local stuff for the local schools around Columbus. I'm not talking football, basketball. He was talking about being at a bowling league the other day. And I was like, what? So really good follow. Go follow him. Give him some support while doing what he's doing. This dude was live streaming a game while reffing it. So, and that was a middle school game. So this dude's at middle school games. All right. So y'all go find him, give him some support with what he's doing. He's trying to give these kids an outlet.
Nice.
You got One Take Zaya on there. I'm sure he's going to have some stuff firing off pretty soon. I know he kind of rebranded his name, so we got him. I'm your NASCAR, hockey, whatever y'all want to talk about. SEC Sean, you can find me. Like I said, we'll be going live tomorrow around 7 with the updates to some stuff that came out with the NASCAR world today. Other than that, anything else y'all need to add about your Longhorns for the 2025 season before we draw the curtain?
Hook 'em.
Welcome, baby. Let's go.
All right, gentlemen. Well, it was a great show. We'll catch up again, and if y'all are available, hit me up tomorrow. We'll jump on.
Cool.
Yes, sir.
All right, as we always tell
Have a good
everybody,
evening.
be good, be peace, have peace out.